Hello and welcome back to Khalsa Design. Today we are back with the new sleek animation style you have probably seen in Iman Gadzhi latest video. Get ready to level up your DaVinci Resolve skill. Let's jump right in. First thing first, open DaVinci Resolve and create new project. Head over to the edit page and draw up in a fresh fusion composition. Let's set a duration to 10 seconds on the timeline. For this animation, we will need a few icons. You can grab all the necessary assets from the link I have included in the video description below. Go ahead and import those into your media pool. Let's start with our time icon. Drag it into the Fusion page. Now add a background node and connect the icon output to it. Select the background, head to the setting tab and let's set the alpha to red. This will help us to isolate the icon shape. Next, add a merge node. Add another background node and connect it to the merge. Select this background and set its red, green and blue values to 0.5. Let's shape this gray background into a perfect square using a rectangle mask. Connect the rectangle mask to the gray background. To ensure it's always a square, we link the width to the height. In the expression box, type height divided by 1.78 and hit enter. Now set the height value to 0.388. Set the corner radius to 0.441 and border width to 0.003. Time for sub-dynamic movement. Select the first merge node and add a brightness contrast node after it. In the brightness contrast setting, make sure only red channel is selected. Deselect green, blue. Now let's create that good flicker effect using keyframe on the left value. Go to frame number 45 and add a keyframe for the left. Move to frame 47 and set the left value to 0.5. Advance 2 frames to frame 49 and set the left value back to 0. Go forward one more frame 50 and set the left value to 0.5 again. Now connect the output of the rectangle mask directly to the mask input of the brightness contrast node. This will apply the flicker only within the square. Open spline window, select all keyframe, then click the step out button to create that sharp stepped animation. Let's add a transform node after the brightness contrast. On frame 0, add a keyframe for the size and set it to 0.6. Move to frame 30 and set the size value to 0.5. Also add a keyframe for the center value on frame 30 and set the center Y value to 0.6. Go to frame 90, set the center X value to 0.35. Open spline window, select all the keyframes and smooth them out using the handle for the nice ease in, ease out. You can also fine tune the easing by pressing T in the spline window to adjust the numerical value. Add a background node and then another merge node after the transform and connect the transform node to its foreground input. Select the new background and make it transparent. Select the second merge node. On frame 30, add a keyframe for both blend and center values. Set the center Y value to 0.6. Go back to frame 1 and set the blend value to 0 and set the center Y value to 0.4. You should now see the first shape animation taking form. Open the spline window and smooth these keyframes as well. To give it that extra pop, add a glow node after the transform. Select the glow node and set the glow size to around 100 and glow value to about 0.5. On frame 40, add a keyframe for the blend value and set it to 0. Move to frame 45 and set the blend value to 1. Change the apply mode to merge under. Open the spline window and smooth these glow blend keyframes for a subtle fade in. Add a text plus node and connect its output to the output of the second merge node. This will automatically create a new merge node. Select text plus node and type your desired text. Set the font to Poppins and the size to around 0.035. Head over to the shading tab. On element number 1, set the color of your main text. Now animal element number 4, set level line. Adjust the horizontal and vertical values to 0.1 and roundness to 0.2. Change the color to black for a subtle outline. Animal element number 5, change the appearance to border outline. Set the thickness to 0.1 and the level line again. Use same horizontal 0.1, vertical 0.1 and roundness 0.2 values as before. Set the RGB color to 0.5. On frame 30, add a keyframe for center value and set the center Y value to 0.53. Move to frame 90, set the center X value to around 0.35. Open the spline window and smooth these keyframes to make the easing of your shape animation. Now, let's animate the text size. Go back to frame 30 and add a keyframe for size. Go to very first frame and set the size value to 0. Open spline window and smooth these keyframes for a nice reveal. Select all the nodes that make up your first icon animation from the initial background with the red alpha to the glow node. Copy these nodes by pressing Ctrl+C. Paste the copied node after your text plus node by pressing Ctrl+V. Connect the output of the previous glow node to the output of the merge node. This will likely create a merge 4. Select the media N node within the copied group and delete it. Now drag your car icon into the Fusion page and connect its output to the background node. Select the rectangle mask within this group and change the height value to around 0.485 to fit the car icon better. Select the brightness contrast tools, open keyframes window and drag them to start around frame 100. This will offset the flickering animation for the second icon. Select the transform node for the car icon, double click on the both center and size parameter in the inspector to remove any existing keyframes. Go to frame 70 and set the center X value to around 0.65. Add a keyframe. Also on frame 70, add a keyframe for the size and set it to 0.5. Move to frame 100 and set the center Y value to 0.7 and size value to 0.4. Open spline window and smooth these keyframes. Select the glow node for the car icon, open the keyframe window and shift its blend keyframes to start around frame 95. Select the merge 4 node, go to frame 100 and add a keyframe for the blend value. Go to frame 70 and set the blend value to 0. Open spline window and smooth the blend keyframes for the fade in effect. Copy your first text plus node and paste it after the second icon animation nodes. Select the pasted text plus node and change the text to whatever you need for the second icon. Double click on the size parameter in the inspector to remove any existing keyframe. Go to frame 70, add a keyframe for the size and setting it to 0. Move to frame 100 and set the size value to around 0.035. Go to Layout tab and double click on the center parameter to remove any existing keyframe. Set the center X value to around 0.65 and center Y value to around 0.53. Open spline window and smooth the size parameter for the nice reveal. Drag and drop the hand pointer icon into the Fusion page. Add a background node to it and then add a transform node after the background. Connect the output of the transform node to the output of your last merge node. This will create a new merge node. Select the transform node on frame 45, set the size value to around 0.12 and set the center Y value to around 0.6. Add keyframe for size. Go to frame 47, set the size value to 0.1, move to frame 49 and set the size back to 0.12. Now, let's animate the pointer path. On frame 0, set the center X to 0.8 and center Y to 0.2. On frame 35, set the center X to 0.5 and center Y to 0.6. On frame 49, set the center X to 0.49. Open spline window and smooth these keyframes for the natural movement. Select the background node, connect it to pointer icon and change its color. Go to frame 90, set the transform node again and set the center X value to 0.654. Move to frame 100 and add a keyframe for the size value. Go forward 2 frames and set the size value to 0.1. Go forward another 2 frames and set the size back to 0.12. Open spline window and smooth keyframes. Also select all the points for the center animation and the viewer and use the handle to create smooth curves. Select the merge 6 node on frame 0, set the blend value to 0, add a keyframe, go to frame 5 and set the blend value to 1. Open spline window and smooth this blend keyframe for a nice fade in. Before adding the next keys icon, just add a merge node and rename it to main background. Also add a background with it. Connect that merge 6 with the main BG. Select background and make it transparent. Select main BG and set the center Y value to 1.3. Drag your keys icon into the Fusion page. Connect its output to the output of the large merge node. It will create another merge. Add a transform node after the key icons. Select the transform node and set the center Y value to negative 5.5 and the size to around 3. Move to frame 160 and set the angle value to 0. Add a keyframe. Go to frame 90, set the angle value to negative 45. Open spline window and smooth these angle keyframes for a smooth rotation. Add another text node. Connect its output to the output of the merge node with the key icon. Select the text plus node and go to layout tab. Set the center Y value to around negative 0.06. Now go to text tab and type your desired text. Set the font to Bradley Hand and size to around 0.05. On the layout tab, set the center X value to 0.3. Move to frame 150, set the right on end value to 1. Add a keyframe. Go to frame 130, set the right on end value to 0. Add a polygon node and a background node. Connect the output of the background to the output of the merge node. Select the new merge node and change its center Y value to negative 0.005. Select polygon node and the viewer. Click to create points for your desired curve shape. Now you have your points. Go to the inspector and set the border width to 0.003. Right click on the shape animation option and choose remove shape animation. Now select all the points in the viewer and use the handle to smooth out the curves. Go to frame 120 and add a keyframe for the length value setting it to 0. Move to frame 150. Set the length value to 1. Also on frame 120, add a keyframe for the level value. Go back 1 frame and set the level value to 0. Select background node and change its color to your desired line color. Open spline window and smooth the length keyframes. Copy your second text plus node along with its preceding merge node and paste it after the first polygon node. Connect the output of the first polygon merge node to the input of the pasted merge node. Select the pasted text plus node and change the text. Go to Layout tab and set the center X value to 0.7. Open keyframes window and drag the keyframes for this text to start around frame number 160. Add another polygon node and connect it to the first polygon. Right click on the shape animation option and remove shape animation and create your desired curve shape in the viewer by clicking to add points. Select all the points and smooth the handle. Set the border weight to 0.003. Go to frame 160 and add keyframes for both length and level values, setting the length to 0. Move to frame 180 and set the length value to 1. Go back to frame 159 and set the level value to 0. Select the polygon node and open spline window. Smooth the length keyframes for a fluid reveal. Add a new background node. Go to Image tab of the background node and uncheck Auto Resolution. Set the height value to be equal to the width value. This ensures a square canvas for our pattern. Go to Color tab and set your desired red, green and blue values for the dots. Now add an ellipse mask to this background node. Select the ellipse mask to make it a perfect circle. Right click on the width parameter and select Add Expression. In the expression box, type height and press enter. Now set the height value to around 0.22. Add a transform node, set the edges and width wrap. Now reduce the size value significantly, set it to 0.006. This will create a tiled pattern of dots. Add a merge node after the transform. Then add another background node. Connect it to the background input of the merge node. Select the second background node. Change the background type to gradient and gradient type to radial. Adjust the start and end values to control the gradient position. Set the gradient point 1 and choose a brownish color. Select the gradient point 2 and set the color to black. Now delete this background node and connect the output of the merge containing dot to the main BG merge node. Select the main BG merge node. Go to frame 160 and add a keyframe for center X and Y and set the center Y value to 1.3. Set the size value to 1.2. Move to frame number 90 and add a keyframe for both center X and center Y values. Also add a keyframe for the size and set it to 1. Open spline window and smooth the keyframes. Go to frame number 190, set the center Y value to 1.32. And there you have it. That's how you can recreate this cool animation style in DaVinci Resolve, inspired by Iman Gadzhi video. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Khalsa Design for more DaVinci Resolve tips, tricks and creative inspiration. Let me know in the comments what other kind of animation or effect you'd like to see in the future videos. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.